Which leads me to the final question in this series today. That's question 25. Is Daniel's 70th week prophecy yet future? Is Daniel's 70th week, I guess I should say it that way, the 70th week of his prophecy, is that still future? And of course, the right answer is no. That's much better. No, it's not. But to them, the evangelical futurists, Christian Zionists, it all hinges. Everything about their phony timeline hinges on Daniel's 70-week prophecy. You might be interested to know, this is what I started to say a minute ago, where this first came from. Daniel's 70th week prophecy, so interpreted by evangelicals. Where did that first come from? Well, we know it was popularized by Scofield in the late 1800s and early 1900s, who got it from the Darbyites in the mid-1800s. So we know that as far as America is concerned and Christians in America, that the Darbyism of the Plymouth Brethren in the mid-1800s led to Scofield's reference Bible in the early 1900s, which saturated America's evangelical colleges, seminaries, etc. It's no mistake that one of the, if not the leading seminary in America promoting this fallacious doctrine of Christian Zionism is the Dallas Theological Seminary, which is a direct product of C.I. Scofield, who spent much of his ministry in Dallas and pastored there for many years, although I wouldn't call him much of a pastor because he was never home. But officially, he pastored a church there, and the school started as a result of that, which became the Dallas Theological Seminary. That seminary by itself has spawned hundreds and hundreds, yea, thousands of evangelical churches around the country adopting Christian Zionism because of that influence. So we're talking about an influence that goes back directly to John Darby, C.I. Scofield, and then throughout the United States and the rest of the world for that matter. But you might be interested to know that the very first man to develop this futurist gap theory of Daniel's 70th week prophecy was none other than Francisco Ribera, who lived from 1537 to 1591. This man was a Jesuit doctor of theology. He was a Roman Catholic Jesuit theologian. 1537 to 1591. He came up with, he's the first one that I could find in recorded history that came up with this gap theory between the 69th and 70th week of Daniel's prophecy, and he did that in order to deflect criticism of the papacy away from the charge of Antichrist during the Protestant Reformation. The Protestant reformers were not shy about saying they believed the beast of Revelation was the papacy of the Roman Church. And so this Jesuit came up with this gap theory of Daniel's 70-week prophecy in order to deflect criticism of the Protestant preachers during the Reformation away from the Catholic Church and the belief that the Pope was the Antichrist. It laid pretty much dormant until Darby came along. He read about that somewhere in the early part of his life, his ministerial life, and he adopted that doctrine into his doctrine of futurism. And of course, Scofield ensconced that doctrine into the entire belief system of Christian Zionism. So as today, the vast majority of evangelicals believe that there's this thousands of years gap in between the 69th and the 70th week of Daniel's prophecy. And we're going to show you in our message on that subject that is pure nonsense. And we'll properly interpret that passage for you. And again, today's message, the final message in the series, Questions for the Pastor When Looking for a Church, which focuses on questions regarding Israel-based prophecies, is the precursor for the prophecy series. And Lord willing, I will deliver message 1 of that prophecy series next Sunday. Let's stand for a word of prayer.